Welcome to Trinity. We're really glad you're here, and we're hoping that this little short video tour will give you a little idea about Trinity and will maybe entice you to come back and worship with us on Sunday mornings at 9 o'clock. And this main entryway to the church comes into a gathering space and a whole section here that was just built a few years ago, dedicated in 2018. This used to be the back wall of the church, and so we're going to start out by going in there, and I'll just tell you a little bit about the history of this place and how it came to be. But we're glad to have you here, and we hope you'll come back again. This church was designed by Arnold Flotten in the 1940s. He was the head of the art department at St. Olaf College, and he and Howard Hong, another professor there, had been vacationing here and buying property and building cabins for their families at that time, and were involved at Trinity and helped Trinity to imagine a way to build a new church to replace the old church, which was back up on the North Road where our cemetery is. And so in 1947 was the first of 3 summer work camps with St. Olaf students who spent the summers here doing a lot of the rock work and building trusses and so forth, and helping out many local folks and church people. Then took over where those kids left off and built this church entirely out of volunteer effort. Almost no money changed hands, all local materials, all sawed locally. An amazing achievement. Even the furnishings, the altar, the pews, all of that all was built locally on site from drawings that Arnold Flotten came up with. And a marvelous thing. The stone there was brought in an old Army surplus Willys Jeep from the Flute Reed River, gathered by those St. Olaf students and put together there. It's really a marvelous space that was really opened up a lot when we did that remodeling just a few years ago and added the space that you came in and entered on. This was just a very tiny little dark cubicle of an entryway in narthex, with a wall here and a wall there and so forth, and walls there, and all closed off from a very rustic entrance with no windows. And all of this was able to be opened up when we added a new narthex, a new gathering space, a much bigger, more hospitable one. And so it really transformed this space too, to open everything up into the stairwell and the bell tower and the stone and so forth. So we can go downstairs and check out the downstairs. This stairwell here and all of this beautiful stonework is really quite remarkable when you think it was all 18 and 19-year-old kids that did it from St. Olaf, with scaffolding that was just whacked together from old 2x4s and that sort of thing. It was a very rustic project, but it's a very beautiful stonework. Arnold Flotten, who designed the building, was mostly known as a sculptor and a carver, both of stone and wood. And this entry door is a great example of his work. This was really intended to be the main entry to the church when it was first built. It doesn't really get used that much now. It goes out onto a lovely patio we call the All Saints patio. And above it, on the other side of the stone, is the big iconic carving that Flotten did of Christ, the Pantocrator Christ, and the bell above it. That's a swinging bell that came from the old church. And so this whole bell tower is really the kind of iconic centerpiece of the building. Quite lovely. Down this way we come to the kitchen and the fellowship hall. I'll show you there. This space downstairs, our fellowship hall, for up until just the most recent few years, was really the only other space we had other than our sanctuary worship space. And so a lot of the life of the church has happened here through the years, meals and dinners and meetings, and we had a church office in the corner there. And this is a door that goes direct to the outside, so it's accessible to the outside, handicapped accessible, which is great. We get wonderful natural light through these south-facing windows, and it's a great space. In this corner here, you can see a little bit of there's art all over this church that's based on this building. That's how iconic it is. This is a counted cross stitch, a needlepoint done back in the 80s. And here is a gift to us from our sister parish in Bigonnet, Haiti. And this is all made with colored sands, just very meticulously. Amazing that they did that of our building here and of our mission statement here, teach, live, and share Christ's love. This is an old artifact from the barn at Mons Hansen's farm way up the Arrowhead Trail, where the kids from St. Olaf lived in the barn for the summer, each of those years, 47, 48, and 49. And it's just a little note that the girls wrote regarding the boys there, and somebody rescued it and put it up here. It's a nice artifact from our past. And in a kitchen back there that's really kind of a charming kitchen that until the last few years had no plumbing, and yet hundreds and hundreds of church dinners and so forth came out of that kitchen, and a lot of life in this space. We're glad you came to visit. We hope you come again. And please sign our guest book, and we'd love to keep in touch with you. And check us out. We have online. We have a great website, trinitylutheranhovland.org, and we live stream our services on Sundays. But we worship at 9 o'clock Sunday. We'd love to have you join us. Often in the summer, we're up the trail at just up this driveway here a little ways, up onto the hill in the woods there at our outdoor worship space, which we call Trinity Trails, a beautiful space, and you can check that out with just a short little walk up the hill there. And once again, we're very pleased that you came. God bless.